Hi, guys. Welcome to Celebrations of Life magazine. Today we are going to be reviewing the November issue together as we are about to roll into December. I didn't want you to miss out if you had not had a chance to look over the website for the November issue of www.celebrationsoflifemagazine.com. We put up a new issue each month, so most of these titles will change, such as India, kids coping with death, and the topics at large about pets. So the two title pages that do stay the same are Home, Grief and Potluck for there, and the coloring page. Those are some of the studies as far as the names of the pages. But when we feature, you'll see that as the third page feature going forward. So, just a little technicality there I wanted you to be aware of. So, welcome to the November issue of Celebrations of Life magazine.com, where we are celebrating the life you leave behind. The focus of this magazine is not to be morbid and not to be grotesque. The focus is to celebrate life. So, here, the goal is to have safe conversations around death and dying. It's not disgusting. It's not an unfortunate incident. It is sad. It is a fact of life. And the two things we all do together are the same. We are born and we die. Ta-da! So, that said, my name is Ginger. I am the editor. I am the publisher. I am the creator. Along with the help of Squarespace, give or take, I have created this website along with the Instagram page, Pinterest page, Facebook group, and on occasion, the podcast. And we'll show you that upcoming here shortly. So, yes, I have a sense of humor. Yes, on occasion it does shine through. So, if it offends you, I'm sorry, go look at something else. It shouldn't. I'm very unoffensive on a good day. So, the goal is to learn about all things funerary, such as, but not limited to, culture, history, fashion, flowers, types of funerals, food, art, and more. It is more than just putting a body in the ground. I know, that's what I used to think, but apparently that's not the case anymore. It's more than that. All right. Moving forward, I had featured in this month's November article the Indian culture being about death. I was fortunate enough to talk to a lovely lady by the name of Shalini Bala Lucas, who is now a widow, author, dancer, and so much more. This lady makes my laziness shine. So she is all about physical, mental, and spiritual happiness. This will take you to the article, which we'll come back to under India shortly. Aren't those cute little butterflies? Yes, so there's a place in Key West, giant butterfly place. I was blessed. Photographer. Well, there I am again. Gotta do what you gotta do. And so what we've also done is I did create a poetry contest, but there was a certain lack of entries for this last month. So needless to say, we have moved on and I have extended it ta-da, to January. So by January 4th, Monday, at 2 p.m. Eastern, we really, really, really would like to have your poetry in. So, the prompt that must be in the poem somewhere, title, ending, middle, repetition, don't care. The concept is, the prompt has to be. That's Super good English right there. When you say, The prompt must be in the poem somewhere. Prompt is, really, really good things are coming soon. Okay. Exclamation point. Yes. So, the poem will be chosen on our live. Ta-da! I know, I love to die. Can you tell? Will be chosen live and read January 8th, and it will be featured in the February issue of Celebrations magazine. How cool. So submit your poems to the according account, Celebrations of Life magazine at gmail.com. Okay, if you have questions, want to read the poetry contest rules, there is one rule. A, you must have the prompt in there. Technically, B, the second rule is to turn it in by Monday the 4th. So, go over to the website. You see it there, www.celebrationsoflifemagazine.com. Now, another thing that it's nothing new, but wanted to try again because so far I've done one and nobody attended it with me, but that doesn't mean I'm sad about it. It just means that either I didn't get the word out properly or, people are like, I don't know what this is and I don't want to do it. So there you go. That's life. It's okay. Choices. There are too many choices on the grocery shelf these days. But I digress. So, back to it. So for 2020, we have one more that is Supper Club date. That is December 9th. You need to sign up to be a part of it. We do not talk about religion, sex, or politics. Why? Because that's just not nice. You don't talk about those things at the supper table. So, that said, you can find Supper Club on the page Support and Advertisement. And therefore, you can join me for the low, low price of $10. I mean, seriously, there's nothing to that price point. All right. So, Supper Club, we sit around, we chat. Yes, virtually. Yes, it's a Zoom. You're only recorded if you agree to it. If nobody agrees to the recording, I don't record you. I don't post it later. I just thought, if we do record it, it could be fun to do it as a podcast. So more of a listening than a seeing thing. Because I know y'all don't want to see me chewing, but I did it. I did one already. So that said, you can check out our YouTube channel. Oh yeah, we're just everywhere. We're crazy creatures. Where I do nature and art walks. Now, why would I do nature and art walks? I asked myself the same question. Well, so far, I figured if you can't get out and you can't enjoy nature because maybe it's too flipping cold, or maybe it's too stinking hot, or maybe there's a hurricane happening, which, occasionally those do happen. You're welcome to take a walk on the wild side with ours. This is going to click over to YouTube. It will, because I linked it. Now, this was an interesting one. I will mute it for the purposes of. But I was on the East Coast. Yes, I have to remember where I'm at some days. I was on the East Coast this particular time frame. And lo and behold, doing a little drive along, and it was stormy out over there. And that is NASA. The big white brick concrete NASA building. So, yeah. So you'll probably see some lightning flashes. Don't fear. If you don't want to listen to the audio, that's fine. I get it. Also, if you go to the channel, yes, I have a whopping 2 subscribers right now. It's neither here nor there. So, we have the podcast, we have conversations, we have I have it in here somewhere. Zootaloo! Under playlist. There it is. Garden strolling. There we go. I know I have it in here somewhere. So you can check it out. I've got bubbling water. We've got by the river. We've got roses. We've got all kinds of cool stuff for you to check out. So don't be ashamed. Don't be frightened. Nature will not get you here. It is just a beautiful resource to enjoy and take a moment. Okay? So take a moment, take a nature walk, join us on that matter on our YouTube page. It would have been smart if I told you what the YouTube page was. Yes, it would have. It's called Celebrations. And then there's a space of life. Whoop, we just missed it. There was some lightning. Celebrations, space of life. There it is. Isn't that fascinating? So, nature is quite the creature all unto itself. I figured, why not? So, if you want to subscribe, subscribe. If you want to subscribe to the YouTube channel, you know how to do that. It's not difficult. You push a button. As stated before, we are on Facebook, Instagram, and Pinterest. Links to that are up above. I do try to celebrate Etsy artists, so here you see a couple Etsy artists for the related topics this month. Majoritively, I found people for pet loss, and then we have some great signage. These links will take you to them. These links will also be up for December. And here we are with You Belong Here. Come back again. All right, moving on to page 2, Grief and Potluck. Ooh la la. Now, tell me that's just not a beautiful rose. I wish I'd made the picture bigger. It is a beautiful rose. Grief and Potluck Podcast is a podcast, and that's simple, and that's what you know. Pardon my slurping. That was like Grey Poupon. Just pardon my slurping. So, Grief and Grief and Potluck, you will also find on the YouTube channel under Ooh La La. Look at my head bob go. Look at my head bob and go. So cute. Under Grief and Potluck Podcast. So, yes, there's a few of them. Easy to find. Easy peasy. On the channel, Celebrations, Space of Life. Oh la la. Okay. Back again. Here we are. So, Grief and Potluck Podcast, that is my little pot. I don't have a name for her officially. We are not potheads. But nonetheless. So, I do think about calling you guys celebrities because we're all celebrating our own lives. And what do we do when we celebrate? We celebrate, we party, we have a good time. What exactly is a celebrity? Someone you celebrate. So celebrate yourself. Don't worry about the other people. They don't need your support. But we do. We need your support. So feel free to show your support here and get a shout out on the podcast. How cool would that be? That is also on support and advertisement page, so that link will take you to that page. Now, also, another podcaster I have come across is called Tavana Givens. She has been a blessing and shared with us her podcast as well as a few articles. She has lost her husband a couple years back, and she is raising 2 children herself. So, at the tender ages of 5 and 8, when their dad passed away, it was sudden, shocking, and surreal. I can't imagine. So, you're welcome to read this article. I'm going to scroll through and give you a minute here. So you can find her podcast. You can find this link to her. Her name is, again, Tavona Givens. That's TAVONAGIVENS.com. Her podcast is called She Is Still Standing with Tavona Givens. And you can find her on Instagram at Tavona Givens, and she is also on Facebook. You can join that group if you are dealing with the loss of a loved one. Still Standing Nation is what that is called. Nature and art walks. Now, yes, this is exactly what it looks like. This is a pooping pooch. So what that means is I found somebody on Etsy who, this is what they do. They make these funny calendars of pooping pooches, and you can order one for yourself. How fun is that? And it helps the Humane Society. This one apparently is in Maui. But nonetheless, you know. And you too can put your pooping pooch in this beautiful thing. So, yeah, I know. I'm trying not to gag now that I've said it so many times. All right. India. That was the educational interest of the month of November. Again, Shalini was kind enough to give her time. This woman is so busy. I mean, I'm completely lazy compared to her. I'm just going to be honest about it, but that's okay. We all do things differently. So basically, dancing got her back into herself, and she created the Just Zoom, which you saw there. That is her. So that is something she created in regards to dancing to help her cope. So I am going to roll through here and give you a minute to read part 1 and part 2. Part 3 is on YouTube as we did it in audio format. So if you miss part 1 and part 2, you read them here, and then part 3 is in audio format also on YouTube. So as you can see in the Hindu culture, women are expected to cut their hair, quit wearing the bright colors. Quite interesting there. Now, if you want to visit Shalini's site, you can. It is www.just, sorry, there's a dot in there, www.just, JUSTJHOOM.co.uk. And she's got these great fun dances where it's Bollywood style, and she has courses, and she has radio programs, and she has written books, and she has classes. So whether it's the dancing or the mindfulness, you can look her site over. She's got quite a lot going on, and she is staying busy, this one. So, good stuff. And it was really interesting to learn firsthand about the Hindu culture, as well as to speak to her in regards to how people are motivated after a death. So again, you'll find this on the YouTube channel under Grief and Potluck. It is pretty much titled India. You can't miss it. And if you didn't get to the September issue, we do have the September issue was about the Swedish death culture, and you can find that link to September. September was a two-parter, part 1 and part 2, so you can learn about Sweden in September issue part 1, and if you want to carry on, part 2. Quite interesting to learn about the different aspects. Now, the other thing you're going to learn on this India page, because technically this is a blog page, is you're going to learn about the widows in India. So this one focuses more in on the widows and how parts of Indian society still consider widows to be inauspicious. In other words, why are you still around? So families sometimes abandon these women, which is really sad. Send them to old age homes or places such as Varanasi, which is where a lot of these women go to basically live out the rest of their lives. Of course, one of the very historic mausoleums in India is called the Taj Mahal. It is in the city of Agra. It is a monument, essentially, again, a mausoleum, as there are 2 dead bodies buried in it. It was built back in the 1600s under the command of Shah Jahan as a tomb for his wife. And, after 14 children, yeah. Back in those days, hospitals, people still managed. So you can find more about that at Wonders of the World. I didn't want to be the one to share all kinds of stuff with you and basically just be churning out repetitive things. So you can find more information there. Also, in this section, which has nothing to do with India, is a book called Where Turkey? Gobble, gobble. Yes, I wrote it. So it's a fun, humorous book about a Thanksgiving time frame. And if you need a laugh, I highly recommend it. You can check it out there. It can be found on Amazon, easy peasy. Oh, I gotta update that. But again, November is past. The last Supper Club date is December 9th. And that's pretty much what that is all about. So that's India. My shameless plug for my book called Where Turkey. That's WERE-Turkey on Amazon.com. Now, the coloring page, I'm always open to artists, is for people of all ages to help them deal with grief. Sometimes we have internal grief and we don't quite know how to express it. And here, this month is a fox. So the fox, you can create your own fur, colors, facial expressions, tell a story, whatever your imagination says to you regarding the fox. That's what that's for. I don't yet know what December's will be. Now, this was a fun thing moving into our pets, coping with our pets and death. This is an artist rendering, but the cat exists. People want to create puzzles out of their little fun fur babies. So, easily done. You can find that information on Pet Puzzles. Just click the link here. They are on Etsy under Pet Jig Saws. So, easily done. Pet jigsaws for puzzles to create a pet puzzle of your own. Now, unfortunately, during this time, my family has also experienced a death, and he was a friend, a cousin, a son, and a brother. And his name was Josh, and he created some great music, and he had these cute little chickens that have now grown up here. And they're named after the 5 ladies in Little Women. So the family is currently raising the chickens because they're hoping for eggs. But sadly, Josh passed away, so we miss him. We also have a Pinterest page, which has a variety of topics on it that I am particularly proud of because I created it for one, and two, I think certain things are needed to be learned, needed to be shared. So I'm not disappointed in the creation of Pinterest, but you can look for yourself, get ideas. One goal of the Pinterest page is to get ideas. Another goal is to educate. Another is to give activities. So some of the activities are for kids because we all cope. But if you're not a kid, it's no big deal. You can still do the things. Now, we have the different boards. I have a whole Pinterest on the boards, creating cozy spaces, making easy food creations to take 2 families who have lost a loved one, which apparently is a very southern thing to do. Not every region of the country or the world does this, but in the South, we do. Then there's also Etsy creators. Not all of my Etsy creators have Pinterest sites, so you'll see them on the home site, and then you may not see them on Pinterest, but nonetheless, check out their stuff. Flower ideas, also, thanks. Easy food to create, make, take. If you want to take food to people, trust me, they love it. If you want to take them toilet paper, it's not a problem. Take them paper plates, paper bowls. I know, you're like, that sounds ridiculous. But think about it. If you got people coming in and out of your house to visit, what do you want to do about that? Yeah. You don't want to do all their dishes unless you happen to have a dishwasher. You don't want to clean up after them. You just want easy peasy. And then toilet paper is toilet paper. Now, ashes to ashes. I got an idea, but I'm not quite formatted on it. So I don't know what to put on this board, but it will come to it. But I highly recommend you check out my Pinterest page. It can give you some ideas. It can help you in a variety of topics. And moving forward, there's more than Pinterest to life. I know. There's also Instagram. And on Instagram, we are called Celebrations of Life Magazine. Ta-da! Currently, I am looking for your cookie types. So if you have a favorite cookie type, please share that with us in our Gmail account. That's celebrationsoflifemagazine@gmail.com. That will go in the December issue. And again, we have extended the poetry contest, which I've subjected myself to a luau theme. I know. I don't know what I'm thinking, but that's okay. So, oh, we did this page. All right. So moving on, kids coping with death. Yes, that's my cute cat. Isn't he fun? I have fur babies. Currently, I have the one fur baby. I have had other fur babies in my life. So we'll be getting to your fur babies. Now, this was an interesting book that I found. The author, and he is from Florida, in regards to kids and coping with the COVID. It's relevant, so you're welcome. It can be found on Amazon. Just go to Amazon. There you go. Type in the title of the book, 21st Century Education. The author is Dr. Vincent Miller. And I linked you back to Tavana's article because Tavana Givens has the children, and she did the article, and I wanted you to link back to that because she's on my grief and potluck page, not the coping page here. And I was fortunate enough to have Dr. Hammond share with me part of an article that she did, and you can carry on reading the rest of the article as far as dealing with holidays without a loved one. I'm probably going to keep this one up through December. And again, it's part of an article. It's not the whole article, printed with permission, in case you question my logic. And you can look there, and she's written a book, which I think is very good, The Practical Guide to Raising Emotionally Healthy Children, and give it a look. Nothing says you have to follow it to the letter, but honestly, I mean, she's a smart cookie. Also, I found a lady in Australia known as the Queen of Common Sense, and I think she has quite a bit going on here. Maggie Dent is about helping boys understand loss and death. So I think there's quite a bit there you can learn from in regards to that. She is not just speaking about it, she has also raised. So she has quite a repertoire of boys in her life. She's raised quite a few children. I think most of them are boys, honestly. So, grieving dads. So you're not alone out there grieving dads. Kelly Farley wrote a book because he experienced loss and set out to find dads that were also walking the same path. So his book is called Grieving Dads to the Brink and Back. So I think that could be helpful there as well for fathers who have dealt with the loss of a child. And it could be good in other aspects. That's just the topic and why he wrote the book. So, Grieving Dads to the Brink and Back. Also, come visit our support page to help support us. So, pet death is part of our lives. We all have fur babies. So, I found this pet death doula, which is becoming a thing. I know a lady in town who is studying that herself in regards to how we cope with animals and our loss of them. So I'm going to pause for a minute and let you read through. So Uti is a pet specialist, death doula, and she is there for pets at the end of their time. And this is her and Pablo. Isn't Pablo cute? So I really appreciate Uti taking the time to share with us. And you can go visit her website at www.pets-point-of-view.com. So essentially it's pets point of view, but dashes in between each word. So www.pets-point-of-view.com. And she shares with you a little bit more. So her concept is overall, make a plan. If you know your pet has been given a limited time, if it is their sunset years, if it is a situation of cost, you might want to consider what your costs are if they pass away. We don't all live in the mountains where we can just go out in the backyard, dig a hole, and bury our little loved furry. So you have to consider some actual things that come up. And particularly if there's a diagnosis, if there's going to be things that they're going to need, such as pain relief, a different type of bed, heating pads, a quiet place. Like she says, if you've got a lot going on, that can stress your pet out. Furry friends. There's my furry friend playing with bubbles. Mystery plant. We figured this out. Apparently it's a berry that the birds like. Nothing really much to the name of it, but beautiful berry or something. I don't know. Some great people on Facebook helped me out there. Father Paul was a Catholic priest, I want to say. I've forgotten now, to be quite honest. And he wrote a book called Why We Love Them So, Surviving the Loss of an Animal Friend. And I thought that was helpful. So why not? Why not learn from Father Paul? And you can find his book there. So don't feel foolish and don't feel sad about the loss of your loved little furry baby. It is sad. It is heart-wrenching. There came a time when, before I got this cutie, that I had lost my other two fur babies. Pretty much, I moved back to Florida. The first one, fur baby kitty cat that I lost, she was officially my second child in the fur baby world. And something just happened with her kidneys that you couldn't predict, unfortunately. And so she was given a timeline, and so we were able to bring her back home and love on her some more, and then take her back to the vet and give her the assistance she needed to ease into a better world. And then her name was Ebony, because she was a black cat, and that was the name I gave her. And my other cat, his name was Blue. Yep. He had beautiful blue eyes, and he was a white cat, so he was very fluffy. He's a fluffy little white cat. Well, he was little, but with all the fur on him, he looked fat, but he wasn't a fat cat, so that was kind of the funny part of his body feature. But after the loss of him, which was about 6 to 8 months later, kind of the similar condition that it's something that cats just can get, unfortunately, but they were at the age of 15 too. It took a while before I was ready for another Fluffy, because it hurt. we were emotionally upset. We were sad. Those were our companions in life. And so it's quite understandable in regards to how you're going to feel. Another nice lady who offered me up her article blog is Amy Shojai, Shojai. She has a blog. She writes for a lot of pet magazines. So you can find her blog under amyshojai.com. And she can talk to you about Furry Fridays and dealing with pet grief, as that is the article she offered us here. And then another Etsy creator I have found who does these beautiful urns made out of natural wood. I guess there is such a thing as fake wood, but honestly, I don't know. I just honestly said natural wood because wood is natural. Comes from the outside world. It must be natural. Yep. So he creates these beautiful creations, maple and out of sections of a maple tree, the burl, which I think is like a knot in a tree. And he does these beautiful inlays where there's holes and gaps. So it's a nice turquoise coating. But long story short, his shop is called Urns by Dances with Wood. So go check out his Etsy shop. And if you do buy something from him, let him know you got it from here to apply the code to get a 10% discount. And back to the YouTube channel. So, aren't those furry and fun? Whew, look at my good pedicure there. I don't know that those are my toes. But here we go. Furry and fun plants. And more Etsy fun people. So if you're looking for Christmas gifts, there's some more Etsy fun people on the Furry Friends page. And here we go. No, they didn't pay for this. This is just something I offered them. And so what you see is what you see. It's not like it's got to be fancy. They're not paying for advertisement. But if you want to pay for advertisement, then you get the fantastic stuff. You either get this fancy setup or you get this fancy setup. I know. Choices. Choices are good. So come support us. You can support us and get a shout out on the Grief and Potluck podcast for a low price of $5. For podcast advertisement, that's only $10, and that is per episode. So the details, when you click on it, share that with you. Ta-da! We have at least one podcast per week. And well, look at that. I'm giving you November and December. Well, we're almost at the end of November. So you're going to get one shout out per week in December. That's a generous offer, if I do say so myself. Again, that's only $10 for a full week of advertising. How many weeks are in the month of December? I don't know. I've got to look. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 5 weeks of advertising. Can't get that anywhere else. And if you want to give a Merry Christmas shout out and Happy New Year to a loved one, we'll be happy to put that on a Merry Christmas page here on the website. Again, one more supper club. That's it. That's it. One more for the year of 2020. December 9th, sign up. Seating is limited to 5. So, again, we do not talk about topics such as sex, politics, and religion. Why? Because it's just bad taste. End of story. All right. Now, if you need to send a card to somebody in the US of A, I can help you out there too. read further. If you want to advertise, there's more than one option, so lots of options. Feel free to look over your options. Isn't he fun? I went to the beach. Yep. All right. So, almost done. How many minutes in are we? Because usually these reviews take a hot minute. I'm sorry, but they happen. Let me skip to Coming in 2021. Coming in 2021 book club. Ooh la la! Yes. The book is called All Set for Black Thanks by Miriam Weinstein. More details to be coming, but we are going to be sharing. Here it is. January 19th at 7 p.m. We will be doing a Zoom chat with the author. How fun is that? So, send us your email so that's not where you're going to send me your email. You're going to send me your email to, as you know it, celebrationsoflifemagazine@gmail.com. Yes, it's on the website. You'll find it. So you're going to sign up to be a part of this opportunity. Join us for book club. We will aim to do one book every 2 months. Why? Because I sometimes read slowly and sometimes I read fast. And because I can make the rules, why do you care? It doesn't matter. We're going to try to read one book every 2 months. So come January 19th, have your book read, All Set for Black Thanks by Miriam Weinstein, not related, just in case you have crises on your hand. And if you want, wear your black dress or a fancy outfit and we can make it a party. Okay? Okay. So that's coming up 2021. Keep tabs every month. The website updates, new articles, new topics, new. Fun. Grief and Potluck podcast. You can check that out on the YouTube channel. Click the link on the homepage. You can always find the links on the homepage. If you want to contact us, again, the website, you know it, you're staring at it. Celebrationsoflifemagazine@gmail.com. If you send hate mail, I just won't reply to it because I ain't got time to waste. Take a walk. Take a nature walk with us. Come check us out. Ain't I a cutie? And read more about us. Okay? Super. I know time is precious. Don't want to overstep my timeline. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for hanging out with us. Thank you for taking the time to read the articles. And please feel free to send your feedback. Again, you can give constructive criticism nicely. It doesn't have to be mean and hateful. Because if you're mean and hateful, you ain't got nothing better to do. Trust me, I have to second check myself on a couple times. There's a lot of things I would like to reply to. Nasty. But I don't. Why? Because you're going to get more flies with honey. And pretty butterflies, too. All right. I appreciate it. Thanks so much. You have a great day. This is www.celebrationsoflifemagazine.com. You are watching the November issue 2020. Stay well, stay safe, and pay more attention to what your hands are touching and what your mouth is breathing. Okay, guys. Take care. We'll talk to you soon. Have a great day.